Hey everyone. How are you? How is everyone doing today? Hello, hello. How are you? I decided to sit outside and enjoy this breeze. So no fake lights. It's straight up. It's just straight sun, or now lack thereof sun, but hey, I'm outside on the patio. How is everyone doing tonight? Hello, hello. I'm gonna give it one more minute, and at 5:03, we're gonna get started. So, all right, it's still 5:02, 5:03. There it is. All right, today I want to talk about the pleaser, and this came to me actually yesterday as I was listening to my radio show. And I started asking one of the people that was listening. She was like, "Oh, this is so good," and I was like, "Thank you so much." And we started talking about being people pleasers, and she was like, just do what God's called you to do, and don't worry about the numbers, don't worry about any of those things. Just do what God has called you to do, and if you do that, then all will be well, right? And so I was like, I thought about it, and I said, when I think about people pleasing, I have to be honest with myself and just really think, where did that stem from? And so as I have been maturing my relationship with God, I it has been exposed that people pleasing is a weakness for me. And that it stems from low self-esteem, from priding myself on setting myself on fire to make other people warm for the sake of them to like or love me, right? So I would, and you can't love a person. Like I would think, like I could meet a guy. I'll use an example, and oh, I'm like, oh, now he'll tell me, oh, I'm never gonna get married, or I'm never gonna settle down, and I'm like, oh, you just haven't met the right girl. So I'm gonna love you out of how you're thinking about this thing. But it was deeper than just in my relationships with men. It was just my relationships with people in general. Always just setting myself on fire to make other people warm, and overlooking bad and poor um, behavior and issues, and making an excuse after excuse after excuse. So I started seeing this trait in my daughter. And y'all know, we're not doing generational curses over here. We are breaking generational curses, and we only doing generational blessings over here. So that meant that I had to start doing some spiritual surgery to start to get to the root cause. And so, as I stated, it had been revealed that it was due to low self-esteem and wanting validation. And so I thought about three people in the scriptures that were people pleasers. And the first person was Martha, and that's in Luke chapter 10, 38 through 42. And Martha, we know her to, it was the two sisters, Mary and Martha. And Martha was in the kitchen cooking, because she was looking forward to the apostles coming, Jesus and the apostles coming. So she's setting it out, right? So she's trying to make sure the house is clean, the food is ready. And she gets frustrated with her sister, Mary, who was just chilling, sitting at Jesus' feet. And she actually asked Jesus, hey, reprimand her, tell her to get in here and help me with these, these black eyed peas and these, this corn and cornbread and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say the foods. I'm just adding some flavor to the story, right? And so he tells her, no, she's actually doing the greater thing. You're so worried about this and all this, you're missing the opportunity to be sitting at my feet. So no, I'm not going to create a situation. And I thought about that. How often, like, I love to host things. I love to have things at my house. But how often have I missed the opportunity to witness to a person or to do something because I'm so busy trying to make sure things are perfect, or I'm so busy trying to please people that I missed the opportunity, the God opportunity in that. And here she is, she's sitting at his feet. She had the opportunity to sit at his feet, I should say, but she was so worried about if the beans were going to burn, right? And then I thought about Saul. And Saul was something else. So in 1 Samuel chapter 13, Saul he's at war, and the Philistines are coming upon them, and so his people are starting to get scared. They get scared and they start scattering. So he decides, I'm just going to go ahead. He tells them, bring me the burnt the offerings, and I'm going to offer these sacrifices, even though he knew that he was supposed to wait for Samuel to be there to do it, because he didn't have the authority to do it. But because of his fear for the people and what the people were going to do, and him wanting to please the people to keep them from scattering and leaving him after this 7 days of hiding out, he was like, yeah, okay, we just gonna go ahead and do this. So in doing this, like I said, he violated God's command, and people pleasing cost him his kingdom. And I was like, man, what people pleasing have I done, or what people pleasing have you done that could cost you your walk with Christ? Then I thought about Pilate, and we in the Church of Christ, we probably read this every single Sunday when we take in communion, or some variation of this story in Matthew 27 verses 11 through 26. And we know that Pilate Judas has kissed Jesus. He's brought him to so they arrest him, and he comes, and he's charging him. He says, who are you? Are you the king of the Jews? Are you this, 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 this? And Jesus is just looking at him like, he doesn't say anything. And so he was trying to get the people to take the criminal and release Jesus, but the people were like, no, crucify him. Crucify him. We want him. Yep, let the criminal go, and we want him. We want Jesus, the Messiah. And so he says to them, he literally washes his hands in front of them and says, "This man's blood is not on me. It's going to be on you." And the people were like, "That's fine. We'll take the blood, we'll take his hands. And not only will we take it on ourselves, we even let this this go down to our children." So that's how bad they wanted Christ to be crucified. And I thought about that because it says that even though he said that, one particular verse that I thought was interesting was, well, actually the last verse in 27, verse 26. It says, "Then he released Barnabas, I'm probably saying his name wrong, to them, but then he had Jesus flogged, and handed him over to be crucified." So even though he had said in verse 27, when Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that they insisted, and uproute, sorry, my computer's jumping, was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he said. "It is your responsibility." But even with that, in verse 26, one verse down, verse 25 is when the people are like, "That's fine. His blood is on us and our children." So they were taking the responsibility. He still then has Jesus flogged. And I had to look that up. I was like, what is flogged? And it says that he still beat him. And I was what says tortured? Beat and tortured is what it said when I looked up that word. So even though he allowed the people, he had just washed his hands, but he wouldn't just send Jesus with them as he was. He still people pleased and allowed them to him to be beaten under his authority. So I just want us to just be conscious of what it looks like, what people pleasing can cause us. Hold on, I gotta slide back over here. And I want to give us some steps to how we can stop people pleasing. Number one, recognize the pattern. Pay attention to times when you're consistently putting others' needs before your own. That was big for me because I feel like that's a fine line for me, right? Because I think I've always kind of been taught that you put other people first. We put other people first. We put other people first. And so now when you're so used to doing it, now you have to make sure that now, number two, you set these boundaries. And you got to know your limits. It's okay to do for people, but know your limits and communicate your needs with confidence. Sometimes I have to catch myself. So just recently, I'm the admin of a group on Facebook, and like yesterday, this happened. I'm an admin of a group on Facebook, and this lady popped up. I hadn't seen this lady in a while. She was somebody who was posting all the time, and I was like, "Man, what happened to this lady?" And so when I tried to send her a message, it said I couldn't send her a message. So then I called the owner of the group and I said, "Hey, you know what happened to this person? Is everything okay?" Because she's not, she was super active. And, she was like, "Well, I don't know." So she looks her up and she was like, "Oh, well, I'm messaging her now." So she messaged her and she was like, "Yeah, I blocked 2 admin." So I guess I was one of the admin that got blocked. And so I got in my feelings and I was like, well, what could I have done? Now I'm trying to trace back. What could I have done to this lady? What could cause you to block me? And she said that one of her posts didn't get posted. You blocked somebody because a post that we probably just simply overlooked. It didn't get posted. I promise this is not my full-time job. And I was like, But I had to catch myself because I was about to go down the rabbit hole of recognizing that pattern. Why am I so concerned about this? What is the issue? It's okay if she don't want to talk to me anymore, as long as I know that I didn't do anything. But back to now we on number three. Number three, prioritize yourself. Practice self-care. It is so important that we treat ourselves with kindness and understanding. We gotta, and it goes back to understanding and recognizing that pattern. That is so important. I can't start that one enough. And then if you still are struggling, you have to seek support. And I'm such a proponent for getting therapy, and they can help you um expose the root cause for your people pleasing, and to help you develop coping strategies if these ones I done gave you don't help. Because it is a sad life to live where you are always so concerned about other people liking you. Now, I'm not saying, just go around just being a horrible person to people. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, there would be times when somebody was upset with me, it was almost like somebody set me on fire, because I'm like, well, why? And I had to get out of that place of needing validation. So that's it. I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. We just set those boundaries, recognize the pattern, set the boundary, communicate effectively what you need, and seek help. Prioritize yourself and seek help if you are struggling with being able to tell people no, or, whatever it is. Oftentimes it's telling people no. But all right, that's it. This was just a little something from my heart to your ears. And I hope you guys can catch me on Tuesdays at www.kpmmradio.com. I come on at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 9 p.m. is the repeat is at 9 p.m. Central and 10 p.m. Eastern. So I look forward, Lord's will, to chatting with you next week. And always, if you have a topic that you want me to talk about here on Facebook or on the radio, send me a message. I'm always open and available to try to give my limited understanding on God's word, but try to bring it to you as best as I can with the Holy Spirit's help. So I love you guys. I thank you so much for supporting, and I look forward to chatting with you next week. All right, bye.